Feels good to me. Oh, somebody's been smoking. Here. Oh, wait, I've got one. Here, you use that one. I'll use mine. Okay. Okay. We want to thank everyone for their patience. This is a really big night in the life of your board. We conduct the evaluation of our CEO of the district, and this is the person that leads the district, and I appreciate y'all letting us take all that time. And as you know, this particular agenda did not have a start time for a general session, so I hope, I don't know what time y'all got here, so I'm just really sorry. I hope you had fun sitting out here, because I know it was boring. Anyway, do I hear a motion to adjourn executive session and enter into open session?
So moved.
Thank you. I have a motion from Dr. Powers. Do I have a second? Second. Thank you. I have a second from Mr. Anderson. Are there any questions or comments, board? Hearing none, we'll take a vote. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries, and it is unanimous. I'd like to call to order the general session of the October 1st, 2019 board meeting. I would like to let you know that the district is in compliance with the South Carolina I can't even talk anymore. The South Carolina Freedom of Information Act by notifying the media of the date, time, and place of this meeting. And at this time, I would like to call on Dr. Kyle Guyton to lead our invocation. Dr. Guyton?
Let us pray. Heavenly Father, thank you for just allowing us to come here together, to be together, to come here safely. Lord, just an interesting word entered my mind earlier today, and that was of hunger. Oftentimes we think of just the physical need of hunger, and we thank you that there are people in this district, in this community, who are willing to step up and just fill the needs when there is a physical need of hunger when it comes to the children and families of our community. But Lord, there's also times where we have a different type of hunger, a hunger of relationship, a hunger where we see the needs before us, and we, because of those relationships, we're able to fill those needs, and not necessarily a physical one. In this district, we see a hunger of knowledge, not just at the student level, at the teacher, administrator, community, parent, grandparent, everyone wanting to garner and gather more knowledge to pass on to the next generation. And we thank you for that. And lastly, just that hunger of service, that we meet people where they're at, that we search and we find and we go to them. And so we thank you for that. And we pray, and always, that we never find a cessation of that hunger. Amen.
Amen. Oh, that was beautiful, Dr. Guyton. Thank you for leading that tonight. At this time, board, you have an agenda in front of you. Do I hear a motion to approve the agenda as presented?
So moved.
Thank you, Dr. Powers. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second from Ms. Green. Are there any questions or comments regarding the agenda? Hearing none, we'll take a vote. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries, and it is unanimous. At this time, we have reports and action items if needed from executive session. I'm going to ask the board if I may have a privilege here. Would we rather do that first, or have these people that have been sitting out here for 2 hours?
So we have these people that have been sitting out here.
Yeah. Okay, so do you mind if I'm going to modify the agenda just by flipping the 2, 7, and 6, if that's okay with everybody. So at this time, we are going to move to citizens participation. And the Lexington County School District 1 Board of Trustees provides a time for citizens participation at each regular board meeting. There are a few guidelines, of course. First, in order to speak, you must be a parent or legal guardian of a student in Lexington County School District 1 or a resident and taxpayer of the district. Second, each speaker will have 3 minutes. Third, you may comment on an agenda item, school operations, programs, policies, or other matters of concerns. However, you may not speak about specific individuals, whether students or staff. There are other ways to bring those situations to the board's attention. We want to give everyone a chance who came tonight to speak, so we ask that you not an opportunity to speak. For that reason, board members will not reply to your individual remarks. And if someone makes the point or points you came to make before you, if you could just state that you agree with the previous speaker and not restate every point, that would help us as well. We also ask that you not clap or make any comments either while an individual is speaking or after a speaker finishes, as that also slows down the process considerably. Do have 2 cards. Is there anyone else that would like to speak that has not submitted a card? Because you can fill one out and bring it to us now if you're interested. Oh, I think they're out on the table. Okay. So we'll just go with these 2. So let's see. As stated earlier, you should not expect us to reply to your remarks, although we may ask you a question. As a board, we will not take any action tonight in response to issues you raised during citizens' participation. So I'm going to start with dress code, and this is Catherine Orellana. Did I pronounce it correctly? Oriana. She lives in West Columbia, and is the mom speaking or the daughter? The mom, okay, the mom. And she has a daughter at White Knoll Middle, and she is in the 8th grade. So take it away, please.
All right. Good evening, everybody. Thank you for giving me a moment of your time, and I hope you will take the message you will receive from me today and think very hard on the possible decision that you could maybe make moving forward. On September 3rd, my daughter was sent to the ISS room because of a supposed dress code violation. I personally dropped her off in the morning, so I was confused since there was nothing wrong with what she was wearing. Upon further conversation with the teacher and a member of the administration, I was sent a photo of my child to show what the problem was. Apparently, her shirt was not reaching the length of her fingertips, which was necessary because she was wearing black leggings. I ensured these were not see-through when I bought them for her, so I do not feel like she should have been removed from her classroom, missing 3 hours because her t-shirt did not reach her fingertips. Part of the dress code policy you have on the board's website. It was adopted in October 1st, 1972. So it's 47 years today. The last time it was revised was March 16th, 2004. My issue with this dress code is the fact that it more or less points at females and blames them for how they look, and it's calling them a distraction to the class, saying that their clothes are actually what is distracting, and we don't even know who it's actual distracting. It states, parents, legal guardians have the right to determine how the student will dress, providing that such attire is not destructive to school property, complies with the requirements for health and safety, and does not interfere with or disrupt the educational process or environment, or pose a likelihood of such interference or disruption. The dress codes being enforced are putting a false importance on female appearance. Girls, just like boys, are in school to learn, yet when a girl is disciplined for her attire, it gives the impression that their education is not as important as whether or not they are dressed appropriately. I would like to know, why are females' clothing or bodies being labeled as distracting because of a particular type of clothing they're deciding to wear? Who or what are they actually distracting? If your answer is, well, you know how boys are, then that's the problem. It is not my daughter's responsibility to ensure that she's not distracting the boys in her class. It's the boy's responsibility to figure out how to not be distracted no matter what the issue is and control himself. Take consideration what you are teaching our young women when you take them out of their learning environment because they're supposedly distracting. Take a moment and ask yourselves, do we want to be the reason why boys grow up thinking that their actions are ultimately a woman's responsibility? I know we've all heard it before. It's not nice to hear, but you've heard in the news men say, well, what do you expect, when she was wearing what she was wearing? I feel like this should make a light bulb go off in your head. The district's dress code policy is subconsciously teaching young boys that they are allowed to think that way. And I would really like for you guys to stand with me and show our young women that they are not a distraction. And please take a moment to possibly amend this and teach the rest of the district that their clothing should not be taking them out of the class.
Thank you so much. We appreciate that.
I have a question. You said that her fingertips didn't touch the bottom of her shirt.
Mm-hmm.
Where did that requirement come
That
from?
is in the dress code policy for her school.
Is that in their handbook?
Yeah, it's in the student handbook.
Okay, and it's
Yeah.
specifically for White Knoll Middle School
Yes.
handbook? Okay,
Yeah. She's actually wearing what she was wearing that day.
okay. I just wasn't, I know, I didn't think our district student handbook,
It's not.
Yeah,
It doesn't
I
say
didn't
that
think
in that. I feel like maybe that just because the school can amend it and do what they want to do with it and propose it to the students, I don't think they should go that far. You know, she missed 3 classes because of this, because of a T-shirt. So I would
Thank
just
you.
like for something to be done if possible.
We appreciate that. Thank you.
Miss Oriana.
Oriana.
Say it again.
Oriana.
Oriana. We'll have somebody from my office reach out to you within the next week.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, at this time, you can just set it up there. We have, the subject is bullying at school, and the parent that wishes to speak with us is Chantel Smith Stafford. She lives at 187 Longwood Drive, and her daughter is a student at White Knoll High School. So thank you, Ms. Stafford.
And this is my very first time, and I did not come prepared with something written down like she did. So I'm extremely nervous. However, I do have a legitimate concern about the bullying.
Can you pull the microphone? Yeah, there you go.
Yes.
Thank you.
I do have a legitimate concern about the bullying. I know now that there is a process that is in place. But in my experience, and it was our very first experience, even though I do have 2 children, one has graduated and has a degree in college and always lived in Lexington One School District. It was our first experience this past March with my daughter and a over 200-pound boy. And even though Lexington County cannot see the difference, I saw that there is something in place as, what is it called? In a uneven, something about the odds with him being much larger. However, I don't think that the school in our case could have done anything prior to, because it escalated extremely quickly. But after the fact, I absolutely believe that they could have. I am currently dealing with the district now, and they are talking with me again, and I have a new person to speak with, and I'm very thankful for that. And that was due to a Facebook rant, and I do apologize if anyone read it, but I can't apologize too deeply because it got me to another open door, whereas before, I need y'all to understand I was getting closed doors. And I didn't know what to do, and I didn't know what the guidelines were set in place. And when I finally did go back and read them for myself, I realized that her case did meet 3 out of the 4, if not all 4, that were in those guidelines, and still nothing was done. I had to remove my child from the school for her safety because she was afraid for, that's what she called me every day to tell me. She was afraid for her life. And once I did, it affected, prior to that entire month, it affected her grades. She has always been AB honor roll. Her grades dropped. When I switched her schools, her grades came back up to AB honor roll, and we finally had peace. There is not a zero tolerance policy. That's what I'm here to say. I know that it's written in there, but there's too much tolerance in these schools. And I think that something else needs to be done. And these kids, they don't know that they can actually anonymously, email. And I think that they need to be made aware. Parents need to be made aware. We've even discussed since then about, okay, well, if you see something, a video, just let me video the video and I'll send it in. Or, let me know about it and I'll be the one to tell. But these kids have got to have a voice. And they don't need to be afraid of what's going to happen to them when the next person finds out. And I think that the system that is set in place is a good one, but it's only good if it's being enforced. That made me nervous. I'm sorry. So thank you for hearing me today.
Oh, thank you, Ms. Stafford. We appreciate both of y'all coming and sharing your information with us.
A suggestion that I did have is, could we do like a letter? I know that it's in the handbook, but could we send a letter home to the students for the parents that have that about the bullying, that have the guidelines about the bullying. Because truly, I've spoken with too many that they don't have a clue. And the handbook's all online. You don't, until it happens,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank y'all for staying, and you're more than, if you want to leave now, you're more than welcome to leave. We're probably going to go a good little bit longer, so if you want to stay, you're welcome to stay, but if you want to leave, feel free to leave, either whatever you want to do. So board, now we'll go back to item 6.0, which is reports and action items from executive session. Do I hear a motion regarding the superintendent's evaluation?
Madam Chair, after reviewing the information Dr. Little provided to the board regarding the implementation and progress of the district's strategic plan and considering the board members' review of its performance, I make a motion that Dr. Little receive an overall outstanding evaluation for 2018-2019 school year.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Oswald. We have a motion on the floor. Do I have a second, board?
Second.
Okay, we'll take Mr. Anderson on that one. Okay, board, we now have a motion on a second on the floor, and I believe the board has asked our board secretary to read the statement that has been prepared for Dr. Little's review, and if Dr. Powers would do that for us, that would be great.
All right, so on October 1st, 2019, the Lexington County School District 1 Board of Trustees met in executive session to conduct the 2018-19 performance evaluation of Superintendent Gregory D. Little. This annual evaluation, required by board policy and by the district's employment agreement with the superintendent, focused on the school system's 2018-2019 academic year accomplishments under Dr. Little's leadership. Lexington District 1 is one of the fastest growing districts in the state, ranking 6th in total enrollment. During the past 10 years, from 2008 to 2018, Lexington District 1 grew by an average of 505 new students per year. The district currently serves 27,363 students from pre-kindergarten to grade 12, with more than 3,900 employees, not including substitutes, in 31 schools, 17 elementary, 8 middle schools, 5 high schools, and 1 technology center. The district also has alternative education services designed to help students at risk of expulsion. In a board meeting held September 10th, 2019, the board reviewed in detail the district's progress on its 2018-2021 strategic plan by examining the district's strategic plan key strategies, portfolio projects, and strategies in design and exploration. In open session tonight, after meeting to finalize Dr. Little's review, the board publicly expresses its approval of his performance and overall vision for Lexington District 1 and pointed out his particular effective performance in the following areas. 1, passage of a general fund budget for the 2019-20 school year that showed a commitment to teachers into classrooms by including a 4% pay raise plus a step pay increase for all eligible certified employees, bringing starting teacher salaries to $35,991, and a commitment to student safety and wellness by providing at least a .5 trained school resource officer at every elementary school, 8 more mental health counselors across the district, creating a .5 mental health counselor at every school. 2, emphasizing on classrooms that reinforce the importance of career-oriented and power schools through initiatives such as Code to the Future at 6 schools, the Google Partnership Dynamic Learning Project, the International Baccalaureate, blended learning, industrial certifications, expeditionary learning, and dual credit offerings. 3, increased student participation in expanded dual enrollment course offerings. In 2017-18, 357 Lexington District 1 students earned 2,955 credits. Last year in 2018-19, 431 students earned 3,555 hours of college credit that could have saved Lexington District 1 parents more than $1.7 million. 4, successful passage of a $365 million bond referendum, providing facilities students need now and in the future. 2 schools are under construction now, and work begins soon on the 3rd. 5th, progress the district made in the 2018-19 on its 2 portfolio projects, areas of focus based upon our strategic plan, which are Project Hope and the Lexington District 1 Executive Leadership Program, and on its development of future strategies it plans to explore this year. Project Hope serves both the emotional and behavioral needs of students through the use of board-certified behavioral analysts who provides insight and supervised behavior, 3 applied behavior analysts who use techniques and principles to bring about meaningful and positive change in students' behavior, school counselors, social workers, and mental health counselors. As part of Project Hope, the district changed its practice regarding students who had drug and alcohol offenses by including required individual and family counseling as well as a year of random drug tests. If they agree to these conditions, they remain in their current education environment while receiving support. Last year, the first year of this program, was a tremendous success. 80% of the students who participated in Project Hope returned to school still successfully engaged. And then secondly, the first phase of the Lexington District 1 Executive Leadership Program, the Aspiring Principals Academy, is one of the best leadership preparation programs anywhere in the nation. The work done there to build the leadership capacity of future administrators prepares them to step into various leadership roles and is designed around the responsibilities of the job. Next, encouragement of teacher leaders to become informed about issues surrounding teacher retention and recruitment and to identify ways to overcome those issues. Next, increased advocacy demonstrated by teacher leaders when they held a night event focused on advocacy for legislators and other key community leaders. Next, the superintendent's advocacy during his legislative sessions that include testifying at education committee hearings and serving as an education resource for the Lexington District 1 delegation. Next, successfully construction and open of a new middle school, Beechwood Middle, this fall. Next, his skills in creating meaningful partnership with private and public sector businesses and government agencies in order to expand educational offerings such as USC's Palmetto College for students and employees. Next, 90% of the Pillion Middle and high school students who participate in the district's rolling study hall program, a partnership with Google, pass all of their courses at the end of the 2018-2019 school year. Next, the graduation of the district's first immersion class, boasting 103 graduates earning the Seal of Biliteracy, recognizing graduates who mastered more than one language. Next, identifying of another way to increase middle school students' feelings of belonging and inclusion by shifting the middle school schedule and pushing for the addition of a middle school athletic conference. This accomplishment will impact students for decades. Next, emphasis on safety, including the addition of telephone number of the district tips line and the suicide prevention hotline to the back of student and staff photograph identification badges. Next, implementation of a model classroom and lab sites utilizing instructional practice in real time with students, resulting in 153 model classroom visits last year with 321 teachers, coaches, and administrators impacted. Next, all elementary schools were encouraged to look for opportunities to utilize the push-in model for intervention services. Middle level intervention came out of the exploratory class schedule and became embedded in the students' mathematics or ELA classes. Next, schools released by the South Carolina Department of Education showed Lexington County School District 1 continues to outpace both the national and state averages on national-wide assessments with a combined average SAT score of 1,067 with 1,139 student test takers, a 29.4% increase over the 880 student test takers in 2018. Next, Lexington 1's on-time graduation rate for 2018 was 89.6%, and the district's 2019 high school graduates earned about $159 million in scholarships. Finally, the Board of Trustees did ask Dr. Little to continue his focus on his personal communication with all of the district's constituencies and to continue to pursue the vision and goals of Lexington 1's strategic plan. Board member Tim Oswald said, "Dr. Little has made excellent progress. I'm very excited about his energy and enthusiasm. He has made great progress by reaching out to students, staff, and community." Dr. Kyle Guyton added, "He is the right guy for the job. He does it well and is respected by his peers." Board Chair Cynthia Smith summed it up his review this way: "Dr. Little has had an outstanding year. The students of Lexington District 1 are at the heart of every decision he makes. His leadership truly helps our students design their futures." As a result of his outstanding job performance evaluation, the board acted to extend the superintendent's contract.
You haven't done that yet, so
Yep.
why don't you stop
Yep.
there? Okay. Board, you've heard the write-up. Are there any other comments or questions following that?
Dr. Powers, could you repeat that?
My mouth is so dry.
We're all so tired. But I think it's just been a great year, and we just really appreciate you. And so at this time, are there any questions or comments, Board, following that? We'll take a vote. All in favor of the motion regarding the superintendent's evaluation, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries, and it is unanimous. And Board, I think we should give Dr. Little a round of applause.
Before you move forward, may I say something?
You may.
Again, I want to just publicly thank the board for your support, for all that you've done. I know we've talked privately, but I'd also like to say publicly how much I appreciate it. Successful school districts have strong school boards, and I'm thankful for our school board. I'm thankful for all that you do. I'm thankful for all the time and energy and effort you give for free. And so thank you very much for all you do and the support, and I look forward to us continuing to move this district forward.
Yeah, we appreciate you and your team. Okay, Board, we'll continue on. Do I hear a motion regarding the compensation package for the superintendent's evaluation?
Madam Chair, I move further as a result of Dr. Little's outstanding evaluation, Dr. Little's employment contract with the district be amended as follows. Number one, we extend Dr. Little's contract term for an additional year until June 30th, 2025. Two, we increase by 1% the yearly annuity contributed by the school district conditioned upon a satisfactory performance evaluation as determined in good faith by the board. Three, provide for a salary of $214,751 in 2019-2020, which represents a 2.5% increase over his 2018-2019 compensation. And then fourthly, change the date by which the superintendent is to give the board chair the annual report of his medical examination to provide that he will submit the report to the board chair prior to his annual evaluation.
Okay. You've heard the motion, Board. Thank you, Dr. Powers. Do I have a second? Second. Thank you, Ms. Green, for the second. Are there any questions or comments, Board, regarding the compensation changes? I just would like to say, just to make when the board voted to give the compensation package for the employees, the administrators in the district got 2.5%, and this will match what we have awarded to the administrators. The teachers got almost double that this year in the past budget, so we're matching what we gave the other administrators. Just want to go on record with that. So, Board, are there any other questions or comments regarding the compensation package and the changes to the contract? Hearing none, we'll take a vote. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries, and it is unanimous. Okay, Board, that concludes our program tonight. There is nothing in your packet, and do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Thank you, Mr. Anderson. Do I have a second?
So-
Thank you. We'll give that one to Mr. Oswald. All in favor, Board, please stand up, and thank you very much for all the hours tonight.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Now just be back at work in the morning first thing.